school has been putting Muslim meat counterparts into Hindu non-veg tiffin carriers. Or you did choose a paragraph, didn't you? But then folds him in her arms, my little Farishta.
A man from southern of Lebanon steps to the stage 12 times, stabs 75 years old man 12 times, not once, not twice, 12 times, from neck, from face, from abdomen. Why? Because he wrote a book.
What was the book called?
Satanic Verses.
It's disgusting.
We must never, ever give in to these violent thugs. We need to stand up for the people like Salman Rushdie, for people like Hatun. It's not, as I said, about agreeing with them. It's not about agreeing with the content of what they say. What it is about is defending their free speech.
Big up StreetMic.
Big up StreetMic, long time.
Big up StreetMic. Give him the thumbs up, like, comment, share, and also click the notification bell so when he goes live, you'll be able to be there.
Anyone that has been watching the news over the last 48 hours probably knows the subject that I'm going to be talking about here today. Whilst we're all standing here enjoying the beautiful sunny weather on a Sunday, here enjoying Hyde Park, enjoying Speaker's Corner, there is a man who's lying in a hospital bed in a New York hospital. That man is lying in a bed in a New York hospital with stab wounds to his stomach, with multiple stab wounds to his neck, with a ruptured liver, with a puncture wound to his right eye, to the extent that he may never see in that right eye. That man was being kept alive on a ventilator. We hear today, thank goodness, that he's now off that ventilator. Why? Why is that man lying in a hospital with multiple puncture wounds, fighting for his life? Why? And I will tell you why. Because that man wrote a book. That man wrote a book 34 years ago. That man wrote this book 34 years ago. And the man that tried to kill this man was not even born when this book was written, was not even alive, was not even a twinkle in the eye of his mother and father. But this man took it upon himself to get a ticket to a speaking event, to produce fake ID, to arrive at this event 24 hours earlier, and to rush onto the stage and to try and murder the person that wrote this piece of literature, 34 years ago.
I have a question, Steve. Do we know anything about the attacker yet?
Well, funny you should say that, because of course if you read all of the mainstream media, we don't know what his mission was. We don't know why he attempted to murder this man. Pull the other one.
All we know about
Pull the other one.
All we know about him is a name and the fact he contributed to the last Trump
So
campaign.
what might you suggest his cause might have been?
I assume you have a reason. I don't know yet. It's been 24
hours. May I suggest you're being a little bit gullible and a little bit naive? We all know why Salman Rushdie's life was tried to be taken by a 24-year-old coward. A 24-year-old coward who took it upon himself to arrive at that venue and to attempt to murder this person. And he did that for reasons including the fact that the state of Iran has had a fatwa on this individual for 33 years.
We don't know that yet.
We do know that.
How do you
we
know?
There was a 3.3 million
How do you know the killer killed
payment
because of the fatwa?
on that man's head. A $3.3 million payment on this man's head. We know people that have simply translated this book, people that have published this book, have been murdered, have been attacked in Japan, in Norway, in Italy, in Turkey, for simply translating this book, for publishing this book. Because, my friends, there are certain individuals across this planet who choose to be offended by the written word, who choose to be angry, by a piece of fiction, by a book. People who want to burn this book, people who want to kill those who publish it, bookshops that want to sell this book have been firebombed because there are idiots who have no skin, they have no backbone, and they are so pathetically offended. That might be another example. So I also want to talk about free speech because that is the core issue here. Free speech is not something that we've won, that we can pocket, that we can bank. Free speech is something that we have to fight for and we have to defend continually. Especially today. Do you know what Salman Rushdie said in 2015? Salman Rushdie said, that's very funny. Salman Rushdie said in 2015 that we are living in dark times. He didn't say that when he was living under 24/7 special branch protection, when he was living in safe houses that the British special branch moved him from house to house 54 times within 3 months to save that man's life. Then Britain was looking after that man. Then Britain was fighting for free speech. We gave the man a knighthood for his literary ability. He's won Booker Prizes for his writing ability. But 2015, Salman Rushdie pointed out that we're living in dark times. And why he said that, because he knew, and that was a few months after the Charlie Hebdo incident, he knew the West, France, America, Britain, all of us, no longer seem to appreciate and fight for and defend free speech. Because now, as a society, we have given in to the bullies. We've given in to the religious fanatics who tried to murder Hattoon in Speaker's Corner, who tried to murder Salman Rushdie in this speaking event in New York. And the livid liberals who tell us words are violence. We have to tell them, no, words are not violence. Violence is violence. It's because of idiots like these people in positions of control and positions of power are telling us words are violence that these religious fundamentalist fanatics are doing what they're doing today. I remember during the BLM, the Black Lives Matter protest, I saw placards and people shouting, silence is violence. Again, no! Silence is not violence. Words are not violence. If you are offended for one reason only, and that is because you, as a grown adult, choose to be offended. If you're offended, walk away. If you don't like it, walk away. If you don't like the book, don't buy it. If you don't like the TV program, don't watch it. I think you get my point. You have no right to be offended. As a judge said in a very famous legal case in this country, without the right to offend, without the right to ridicule, free speech does not exist. So therefore, I've been going to Speaker's Corner for a very, very long time because I dearly believe that freedom of speech is our most important freedom. And my goodness, it's starting to slip away. And we must not allow these fundamentalist, ideological extremists to silence us. They, as I say, and I will say it again, they tried to do it at Speaker's Corner. Hattoon, who's over there now. There was an attempted murder on Hattoon's life. A woman standing here now, a 5'2" woman, ex-Muslim, immigrant from Turkey, who an idiot tried to stab and kill here at Speaker's Corner. And why? Because he didn't like her t-shirt. You simply cannot make it up. We are in 2022. We are in the 21st century. We don't want your barbarism here. If you get so upset by a lady's t-shirt, what is your problem? Grow up! You are standing now, all of you here, are standing here in Speaker's Corner, the jewel in this country's free speech. And yet they come here and try and bully and intimidate us into silence. I don't care about your sensitivities. This is the home of free speech, the jewel in our crown. Precisely. And we're not going to give it up lightly. We are not going to give it up lightly. So go away with your knives, with your spittle, with your fists, with your feet kicking people off of ladders, all of which has happened. Go away. There are signs at the entrance to this place explaining free speech, explaining heckling, explaining the history of this place. And yet these numpties still come here and think they can bully, intimidate what people say and what they don't say. We must never, ever stand for it. This isn't about agreeing what Hatoum says or does. This isn't agreeing about the Salman Rushdie book. This is about the right for free speech. It's a slippery, slippery slope when we get to the point where we say, oh, we'd better not say that because that'll offend that community over there. Better not put that on your t-shirt because Ali over there may be offended. No, never. I could say never surrender, but that would be a bit corny.
Pick a name other than Ali as well.
I was thinking Mr. Darwin. John the Revert, because they are often the worst. So these are fundamentalist extremists who try to control the narrative here, they try to control the narrative in New York. The end. Now I was going to read from the book, but I think I may have. Look! Typical white middle class liberal. He physically quaked in his boots when I said I might get the book out and read it. This is 91.
Maybe
will it be the same pages?
Just the blurb. Don't go
Just
past
the blurb.
That's it.
Why is the blurb okay, but not
Leave it, Steve.
What do you mean leave it? Do you know, can I just point out, the Edinburgh Book Festival, which is about to start, look at all the flashing, what do you call it, clicks at the
I'm nervous here, Steve. Go on, Steve.
The Edinburgh Book Festival, which is about to start, they've just put out a fantastic statement where they're encouraging every writer at the Edinburgh Book Festival to read a sentence from this book.
Can I choose a page at random?
Good on them. J.K. Rowling tweeted yesterday in support of Salman Rushdie. Within minutes, there was a death threat on her. Within minutes.
Best-selling book of 2022.
Precisely. Do you know what? This is a friend's copy. I didn't own this.
Steve, I dare you.
Every bookshop in London has sold out of this book. Every bookshop. I spent hours yesterday phoning around. Sad life that I've got. Waterstones don't have it. They had it somewhere in Cornwall and somewhere up north somewhere, but not a single copy. All the independent bookshops, none of them had a copy.
Go to page 238 and read it out loud.
So what was your page?
I say 238. I dare you.
91.
I double dare you. Go on.
These, I've got my contact lenses in. It's quite small font.
I double.
He's just a pussy, isn't he? He came up with an excuse so he can read it.
This is the Satanic Verses.
From the top of the page, not from the bottom of the page, from the top of the page.
Come on, Steve, read us some Satanic Verses.
This is ridiculous. Like, you know, the whir of I'll read a few sentences of it, just for the cameras, just for the... I can't read, I've got to like...
Quiet, everyone!
Quiet, everybody, it's story time! I do apologise I'm not in drag for this, because I know that's the latest thing, but if one is allowed to read a book to the children without wearing drag, I shall do so.
Ixnay on the Satanic Verses, Steve, I don't know about that.
Jabril, when he submits to the inevitable, when he slides heavy-lidded, what does that mean? Towards vision of his angling, passes his loving mother, who has a different name for him, Shaitan, she calls him.
Spicy stuff.
Just like Shaitan, same to same, because he has been fooling around with the tiffins to be carried into the city for the office workers' lunch. Mischievous imp, she slices the air with her hand. Rascal has been putting Muslim meat counterparts into Hindu non-veg tiffin carriers. Or you did choose a paragraph, didn't you? But then folds him in her arms. My little Farishta. Boys will be boys. And he falls past her into sleep. Is there a more?
Yeah, this is the same chapter.
Get to the sex scene!
It's gigantic.
I thought this was 50 Shades of Grey.
Next week. Can I just say, for the cameras that are close, I am sweating, but that is because it's very hot. It's
No, that's because you're terrified.
It's not through nerves
fucking
of having a personal
terrified.
fatwa.
It's
So,
Shaitan, man, it's Shaitan.
what was the...
If you start from
Oh yeah, he is
Steve, hold my ticking backpack for a minute.
Thank you. It's very hot today. So anyway, he is gigantic, wingless, standing with his feet upon the horizon and his arms around the sun. In the early dreams, he sees beginnings. Shaitan cast down from the sky, making a grab for a branch of the highest. Thing, the love tree of the uttermost, and that stands beneath the throne. Shaitan missing, plummeting. But he lived on. I'm going to hand over to you. So anyway.
Well done, Jackanory, Steve.
Jackanory, it's never going to be Jackanory. I know.
Come to this part. This is the part where...
I'll be honest, I don't think most Muslims have read this book.
I think you have it right. I think it
I
sounds
don't
very
think they
bad.
know what is in it.
We should have practiced this, shouldn't we?
It is
Salman
daughters.
Rushdie, he rushed
You do it in a minute. You do it in a minute. So anyway, I'm going to step down, but I just want to say again, we must continually fight and defend free speech. We must never, ever give in to these violent thugs. We need to stand up for the people like Salman Rushdie, for people like Hatoun. It's not, as I said, about agreeing with them. It's not about agreeing with the content of what they say. What it is about is defending their free speech. Because if their free speech goes today, it will be ours going tomorrow.
Big up StreetMic.
Big up StreetMic, long time.
Big up StreetMic. Give him the thumbs up, like, comment, share, and also click the notification bell so when he goes live, you will be able to be there.
Keep on doing the great work. You're creating awareness.
Big up StreetMic. Big up StreetMic.
Click your notification bell.